prizes to our listeners and creating ways to better connect with you. Follow AM 950 social media accounts for chances to win. So join us by making February fantabulous.
Hi, this is Frank Brown, owner of Minuteman Press Uptown, Minnesota's only minority-owned union printing company. And I have big news. We've moved. Our new building in North Minneapolis is much larger with state-of-the-art equipment. That means we can get your projects done faster. We're on Washington Avenue North off I-94 at the Dowling exit, which allows for quick pickup and drop-off with plenty of free parking. And yes, we still print everything. I moved to MP Uptown because as a Black business owner, I want to be in North Minneapolis and help provide jobs. At MP Uptown, we pay above living wages, hire people who have made mistakes in the past, and believe in social justice. We have over 175 Google reviews with a 5-star rating. Let us handle your next print project because when you support our business, you support the community. Call 612-870-0777 or visit mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com. We print everything.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 34, then Saturday sunshine with a high of 63. Maverick's Real Roast Beef is an East Metro treasure. Every bite is a taste of perfection. And don't forget to add freshly fried rings or fries to make it a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef in Roseville, Lexington Avenue, 1 block north of the intersection with Larpenteur Avenue. Visit mavericksbeef.com.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much for joining me. It's Casual Friday. You know what that means. We could talk about anything tonight. Put it in the comments. What do you want to talk about tonight? Did you have a good week? Did you not have a good week? I'd love to know how everything is going for you. It's certainly been kind of, I don't know, it kind of feels like a long week to me, if you ask me. I hope it wasn't like that for you all. First of all, we've had all this weather, right? We're I don't know, it's like a PTSD almost, where we start off with warm, then we get super cold, like February probably should be. And then today, we're back in the 60s, or at least where I was, it was near 60 at least. So I don't know. We're just trying to figure it out, right? So I'm a very happy person. As we got done at the station today, I went with the guy who is the voice of the weather you just heard, Patrick. We went down to Mavericks. Okay, we've been talking about Mavericks quite a bit, the roast beef place, and so this is the second time in 2 weeks that I've gone to Mavericks for their sandwich. And I say so because, first of all, I think some of you know, Mavericks is in Roseville. I live in St. Michael. They're not nearby each other. They're not close to each other. This is not a like, hey, let's go down the block to a restaurant. This is completely far away, but it's worth it. And so I was just checking in with Patrick before I was going to be heading out from the station. And I said, I think I might go to Mavericks tonight. He's like, I was just talking with Brett about that, and I think I'm going to be I was thinking about maybe doing that myself, because they keep hearing the commercials I've been doing. They keep they were reading it for themselves. He heard it for the weather, and he's like, let's do it. So we went out there, and boy, that was really good. That was really good. So yeah, it was definitely well worth it. So once again, I'm not trying to turn this into a Mavericks infomercial, but if you have a chance to go out there, do so. I'm giving away tonight. I'm giving away a gift card to Mavericks because we can. And we are really excited to be doing that. I actually checked in with Tim, the owner of Mavericks, when I was out there, and he's in good spirits. Things are going well. So, and my tummy is full. Let's put it that way. My tummy is full, and I had a lot of roast beef and their fries and stuff. So, yeah, it was really good. The fact that I'm still feel like I'm a little hungry still, just because I eat so much, it feels like that part's a little frustrating to me, but it has nothing to do with Mavericks. That's just my overeating, I guess. I don't know. So it's you know how that goes. So we have a couple things going on today that I want to get through. Plus, once again, folks, whatever is on your mind, put it in the comments. If there's something you want to talk about, let's talk about it. This is what Friday's about over here. Let's enjoy the Friday. What's going on? What are you doing this weekend? Let me know. I'd like to see what y'all have going on. Myself, I was supposed to do something paranormal tomorrow. We're trying to help somebody, and it keeps getting moved, which is fine. That's how it works. But I was supposed to do that tomorrow, and that's not the case any longer. So it's, for those who do the paranormal investigations, you may or may not realize that you have to really get yourself kind of ready for it. You can't just like show up there. You'd never just show up to a location and you're like, okay, where is the spirits? Let's go after them. Let's either help them, not help them, do whatever. You have to prepare yourself. And this is where we always talk about how, the paranormal and the metaphysical, they're the same. Because people always say that, oh, well, they're very different. And Char Savoy, who you might have heard in such radio programs as this one, she had said in the past, which I think is a very telling thing as well. Why is it when metaphysical and paranormal, they're both energy based, right? They're both speaking with spirits. You can watch something like Teresa Caputo, and it's a very beautiful thing, reaching out to your loved ones and stuff. Meanwhile, you can just switch over to a channel and you can watch Zach Bagans, and he's, everything there is dark and scary and evil. And you got to wonder why, there isn't a difference. Now, the difference here, of course, is two things. Obviously, there are amazing spirits. There are also darker spirits. That's obvious. I don't need to point that out to any of you. But I think what we're looking at here is approach, right? And like, for example, Teresa Caputo, or should I say really any psychic medium that I've ever known, it doesn't have to be a television personality. What they're going to be doing is that they're going to be, finding getting the messages that people want to hear. And someone that's like of Ghost Adventures ilk would be looking for sensationalism. And whether they're actually finding it or not, it's almost immaterial to what needs to be on television, right? That's the difference there. And I find that to be very unfortunate. But my point is, the way that we work, we have to get ourselves, energetically prepared for what's going to happen. And so, having it like get postponed or whatever else is fine, because it's always up to, you always want to help the client and whatever works for them. But then it's like, okay, we got to now draw back a little bit and figure out, what we're going to do and whatnot. So, that was kind of what my Saturday was going to look like. Now my Saturday, it's wide open, and I have a couple other projects I'm working on. I do freelance design work for a company in the UK. I design their DVD covers, or actually sometimes author their discs and stuff, because I'm a big British television guy, and so I do a lot of that stuff. And so that is going to be my Saturday, because I am way behind on getting that stuff done. It's been so busy. There's been so many good things going on here that I just needed the time to work on it. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be my weekend as it happens. So nothing wrong with that. I might, I don't know if you all know this. I like to grill. I might have mentioned it once or twice. And I'm going to be doing a lot of that over the weekend, whether it's like chicken wings or something like that. Yeah, it's Friday. We could talk about food. We could talk about everything. What's your favorite thing to grill? Do you grill? Do you like grilling? Some of you might not like meat at all. If you don't like meat, what do you put on the grill? I'm sure you still do, but you always run into that problem, don't you? When you like to grill, but you don't eat meat, and yet you have to be careful where you put like whatever you're grilling, because normally there's meat on there first, right? And you have to make sure it's super clean so that you're not picking up any of the stuff there. I mean, luckily there's fire to kind of purify it, but still, there's all that stuff. So I should tell you the story real fast of when I worked at an ad agency downtown Minneapolis, at Carmichael Lynch. And we, at one point, a friend of mine and I, a coworker, we were just like, we really should see if the company would like purchase like a $200 smoker, like one of those little Brinkman ones, the ones that, stand upright. They look like a little chimney. And so we go to the CFO, who's always been very, they're very open to everything, because the idea there is like creativity is takes many different forms. And so we go to him and we're just like, we want to get this smoker. And he's fine with it. I mean, $200, that's not a big deal. I mean, what it could cook would be enough for like one of us. And he challenged us. He's just like, well, I think it's a great idea, but what if you found something a little bit bigger so that you could cook for more of the agency? And I was like, okay. And so we did our due diligence and we started looking around, and then it got a little kind of what looked like could have been getting out of hand, but it actually didn't. For those who have ever done anything with smoking meat, there's a brand of smoker that's really, really good. It's a Yoder smoker. And you get those down in Kansas City. They make them. They don't have like a room and you just pick one out and you take it with. They had to make it. So we were like this, kind of sheepishly, because it's a lot of money. Like, well, what about this? And he looks at it and he goes, well, what do you think you could cook for the agency? And we're like, yeah, we could. And he's just like, well, over time it'll be cheaper than catering everything, so let's do it. So they built this Yoder smoker in Kansas, and they shipped it up here, and we're in downtown Minneapolis, and we have to put the smoker up on the roof of the building, and which, it's not like a slope. I mean, it's safe, okay? It's not like it's like teetering on an edge or something. It's going to fall off. So we start smoking the stuff. But here's the funny thing: a friend of ours, he was just like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. What do you guys? This is no one's going to approve this. This is dumb. Just really against it. The Yoder smoker shows up. It's on the 10th floor, waiting to be brought up to the roof. I swear to God, he walks over to it, touches it, and to this day he hasn't taken his hands off of it. He immediately became one with the smoker. This guy who was 1 minute just like, you're wasting your time. He's out there, on the roof. He's like oiling the whole thing down, because you have to season it before you can really start using it. And so he became like the head chef, if you will, of our little group. And so we started smoking ribs, and we started smoking chicken, and we could go and buy whatever we wanted and expense it as long as we could feed the agency. That was the thing. It was for the agency. It's not for our own little private, we only make stuff for ourselves. And originally we really wanted to get more people involved with the cooking and stuff. Well, it got so big Like, we started doing it more and more, that they ended up getting a second smoker, which is about almost twice the size of the first one. But the difference was the first one is one of those that is elongated, right? It's like a barrel, if you will, kind of, long. But the second one still has that barrel, but then it had a tower that went up. And I think some of you may have seen something like that before. And so we could do, I think, 30 to 35 racks of ribs at one time. Like, just let them in and smoke for, 6 hours. One time. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, honestly, that you could do all of that. We were cooking for the agency. We were cooking food for clients coming in for new business pitches. We were doing all these things on top of the job that we were there to do, but we did it happily because it was really fun to do. Now, I've been out of the agency. I've been out of that place for 3 years now. It's coming up in 3 years. They still do it. And it's still like, I mean, could you imagine that you have at the place you work, if you like smoked foods, if you like grilled food, stuff like that, that they're making that? I mean, that's pretty special. That's pretty neat. That's something that I think is really a lot of fun. And that's just how it is. And you get me hungry. I'm going to start talking about food. And this is like memory food. Is that even more pathetic? It's not even like what I'm going to have maybe to eat this weekend. I'm going to grill and stuff. And instead, I'm like, I remember the time I had some ribs that were really good. I don't know. That's I don't know if that's more more sad or what, but you got to like your food. So a couple things here to talk about. I want to give away a gift certificate. Okay. I want to give away a gift certificate for Mavericks because they have very kindly given us one to do. So why don't we go ahead and do this? If you put into the comments that you want it, first person that puts that in, you're going to get these wonderful, wonderful gift cards and everything else. You're going to have a great time. It is a fantastic place. So go ahead, put it in the comments now. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to say who is the winner of the gift certificate as well as everything else. And we're going to get to question of the week. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
On 2024, March 15th through the 17th at Crown Plaza, Minneapolis West Hotel. Come to Paganagon to experience deep community where people gather to learn, socialize, and get inspired. Check out all our featured guests and list of activities at tcpaganpride.org and register now for this incredible conference. Paganagon is a pagan conference offering workshops, panels, discussions, social space, music, a ball, vendors, and much more. Paganagon is an educational and social venue for pagans, Wiccans, heathens, druids, people of other folk, craft, indigenous, and magical traditions. Paganagon has a vendor room and third offering art gallery, which are both open to the public all weekend. Paganagon is a safe place, not only to be yourself, but to meet other like-minded individuals. Register now. Check out Paganagon's full weekend, day only, and special event rates. Go to tcpaganpride.org and click on Paganagon to register and get more details.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Feeling like people just don't get the vibrant rainbow unicorn that is your celestial essence? Have you been wondering how you stepped into this infernal, mundane timeline full of muggles, NPCs, and toilet paper shortages? Here at Magus Books and Herbs, we get you, and are staffed with real-life unicorns just waiting to help you rediscover your shine. So come explore your magical side with books, herbs, incense classes, and more at 1848
And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bach, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope everyone is all excited about the weekend. I know I am. Now, as a reminder to everyone, Twin Cities Pagan Pride is thrilled to host Paganicon 2024, March 15th through 17th at the Crown Plaza, Minneapolis West Hotel. Come to Paganicon to experience a deep community where people gather to learn, socialize, and get inspired. Check out all their featured guests and list of activities at tcpaganpride.org. Once again, that's tcpaganpride.org, and register now for this incredible conference. Paganicon is a safe place to not only be yourself, but meet other like-minded individuals. And honestly, I think that is going to be a fantastic weekend. And I'm personally looking very much forward to that as well. Now, I want to also congratulate Lisa for winning the Mavericks gift card. I really do appreciate you all playing and doing that. Lisa, I'm going to get your address later, and then we can send that out to you. You're going to like it. I guarantee it. Is that too much to say? I guarantee it. I don't know. I just really want to make sure that everyone experiences this place. I love good food, honestly. We should get like a caravan of listeners and like a Ghostbox bus, maybe a ghost bus. How about that? Ghostbox Radio, and we'll all take a trip there. We'll leave from the station, or we could just pick people up. It'd be like a school bus. We'll just pick people up. That's not weird. Not weird at all. So with that being said, let's do question of the week. And this week's question, kind of a little bit based on last week's. Now, last week was kind of the 5-minute thing, right? And I got a lot of feedback on that. I heard a lot of people saying how much that they enjoyed that question. And I really love the fact that everyone really took part in it. This week, not as many people took part in the question. Maybe they don't like their pets as much. So the question this week, question of the week, is simply this: if you could ask your pet one question based on all the years you've known them, what would that question be? So if you could ask your pet one question based on all the years that you've known them, what would that question be? Now, here's the other part of the question. So it's question of the week, but 2 questions. If there is one thing you would want to make sure they knew from their time with you, what would it be? So first one is, if you can get one thing out of them to say, what would it be? And then what would be one thing that you would really wish that they got from you? Okay, so I'm going to go to Facebook where I put this up. And like I said, there isn't as many this week. If you want to put your answers, into the comments, please do so. John says the first question of if you could ask them one question and that they could answer, what would it be? The question he would say is, why do other dogs irritate you so much? Right? And the things that he would want to make sure his pet knows is how much he loves them, which is really sweet, right? I mean, and someone had said in the comments, in that same comments, like, well, you're probably going to get a lot of the same answers. And yeah, maybe I will, but who cares? It's kind of fun to see what people think. And some of these, I don't know. Some of these are very interesting. So going to the next one here, and Linda says, answer the question, do they know how deeply I have connected with them, or is it just in my head and heart and they're indifferent? And I think that's a really interesting question. When I talk about my cat, first of all, I really do feel like that I connect with Linus, that we get each other. And everyone's like, well, he's a cat, he doesn't, all cats act a certain way. And I really have to disagree with that. In all of my years of owning a cat, they portray some of those attributes that we always associate with a cat, like, that they kind of be standoffish and stuff. But my cats have always had laid on the bed with me. They're often sleeping on the bed and, at night with me. Linus, he waits for me everywhere he waits for me. We connect quite a bit, and he's and I've told the story before. When I go down the stairs, he tries to trip me. He'll put out his paw in front of my ankle. So when I'm trying to go down the stairs, is I don't think he's trying to trip me. I think really what he's just saying is like, hey, I'm here too. Meanwhile, he's gonna, cause me to break my neck one day. Here's the sad story about that, though. Immediately when he started doing that, I could tell he just wants to let me know he's there. There's nothing, everyone drives into 101 ways that, your cat's trying to kill you, all that BS. That's fine. But the owner, so I got Linus from my friend Amy. I hadn't met her, and I met her at one point, and I met her cat Linus. And immediately Linus and I connected. He reminds me very much of a previous ragdoll I had named Dave. So she's just like, I really see that you like Linus. We want to get a dog. Would you like Linus? And eventually I said yes. And then she told me about the thing where he will put out his arm to try to stop you, and it looks like he's trying to trip you. And she had actually given away Linus one time before. And he was doing that to people, to the owners, and they called Amy back up, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? He's trying to do something to us. He's trying to trip us and stuff." And I think he's just, basically they thought he's bullying them. I mean, a cat. And she's just like, "I'm sorry to hear that." And they go, "If you don't take him back, we're going to put him to sleep." And I was just like, wow. And she's like, yeah, no, she's like, they were going to put him to sleep. They're going to put him down. And she's like, you are not putting Linus down. I'll take him back. And so she took him back and had him for a few more years. And then our paths crossed, and I ended up getting him. And Amy was a great owner for Linus. The one thing I'll never forget is that she had small children. And like she said, they wanted to get a dog. And so she had said, why don't you come over, forget which afternoon it was, just come over in the afternoon. It was a Friday afternoon, just come over, pick him up. I said, listen, your kids are going to be there. I don't think that's a good idea. I think I should get him when they're not there. You just don't want to upset them. It's already going to be quite a bit. And she's just like, nope, it's all going to be good. I promise you. If this was a TV show, at that point you would cut to the next scene, which is these kids screaming and crying that this bad man is taking their cat, trying to get him into a cat carrier that is way too small for him. That's the one that they provided. And, the older son is just stomping around. He's angry, and they're all just really upset that I am taking their cat. And I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. And just like, oh my God, they hate me because I took their cat. Linus hates me because I took him from his home. I mean, it's just ridiculous. AJ, my other cat, hates me because I brought in another cat. I mean, it's like, this was horrible. And here's the thing too, though. I did stack the deck in my favor a little bit. It took about a day for AJ to realize that Linus was real. I think she thought Linus was a hallucination because I kind of drugged her up on the catnip. I kind of did the old, hey, here's a whopping full of catnip for you, AJ. Have a great day. I'll see you in about 20 minutes. And she just was like, what is that? It's Linus. That's what it is. Linus stayed in my bedroom because I didn't really let him like wander around. I mean, he was brand new to the house. Let's just kind of keep everyone a little separated. He stayed in the master bedroom for about a week, maybe just a little bit more, hissing at me every time he saw me, just very unhappy at my existence. I remember waking up in the middle of the night and he was on the bed just staring at me. I'm like, oh, hello. And he just jumped off. And, early in the day, he's still hissing at me. And then I came in and there's a bathroom attached to the master bedroom. And I walk in there and he looks at me. I'm like, well, here we go again. And he just falls to the ground, exposes his tummy. And that was it. Then we were friends. Aren't they something? I mean, honestly, they're really something. I mean, just pretty much amazing. I'll tell you what's also amazing. Let's, because this is a paranormal show, we can throw some paranormal in it for good measure. So the cat I mentioned earlier, Dave is a soul connection to me. I've never had a cat so close, and he's a rag doll. He looks very identical to Linus, except he's black and white. Linus is gray and white. And so they, Linus had passed away. Not yet. Hold on. Dave had passed away in February of 2012. I had to put him down. And so this is 2017 now. And when I made the decision to get Linus finally, I'm going up the stairs and I feel something tug at my sock. And I look and there's no one there. I said, Dave, don't worry. I'm not going to forget you. Okay. I'll never forget you. And so I, the day I went to go retrieve Linus, I need to go over to Buffalo, and driving out there and down this road, there's this truck that is parked where you can see the side of the truck. And driving towards it, I look, and big letters on the top of the truck, it says Davy, which is what I would call him. Now, Davy is also I think a company that removes trees and stuff. And there's also an automotive company, like they fix engines, called Davy. I don't care. What is the deal with that I am going to get Linus? I already feel like the energy of my cat, who had passed away a long time ago, is worried that I'm going to forget about him. And I'm driving, and this is a big thing that says Davy, basically, don't forget about me. I'm still here. Remember me. That's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite memories. And some might be like, well, that's just coincidence. If you like. To me, that was purposeful, and it was beautiful. And I just looked up in the air, and I said, Davy, I'm not going to forget you. I told you. And then I go into the onslaught of angry children and angry cats and everything else. So yeah, it was really something, but nevertheless, that's what happened. And that was, it's beautiful. It is fantastic. So let's see here. King Sisters Paranormal says, regarding the question, and since it was 40 years ago since I originally read the question, here it is again. If you could ask your pet one question based on all the years you've known them, what would it be? King Sisters Paranormal says, are you lonely or upset when I'm not home? And if so, how can I help you with that? And then also they wanted to know, can you see ghosts? That's what they would like to ask. Can you see ghosts? Those are great questions. And, I do believe that, that pets are lonely when you leave. And, the thing is too, and luckily when I leave here, there's somebody that watches over Linus, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, okay, from the cat perspective, I can pick up Linus, look him in the face, hold him, look him in the face and be like, I'll be back in a couple of days. Now that makes me feel good. I let him know I'm back. He doesn't know. And I don't think that's where the energy really translate. It was like, well, they know. No, he doesn't. I remember taking a trip to Deadwood, and at that point, the only cat I had was my little AJ. And Robert, who lives in the basement of the house, he said to me, yeah, she stayed at the stairs inside the whole time. Basically, it's right by the door, waiting for my return. That's sad. That made me very sad. That made me really kind of think twice about taking trips because, they don't know. And it's. I mean, I think cats in general do have a good way of not looking too terribly perturbed overall. I mean, there are things when they get scared and stuff, yes, but so there's a lot that I think we miss that we don't really realize that they're thinking or that they're conveying, for that matter. Let's see here, Suzanne. Oh, Suzanne, can you forgive me for not being a better mom? Oh my goodness. I want you to know how much her love and support helped me. This is what she would like her pet to know. I'd like her to know how much her love and support helped me through some difficult times. Isn't that true? They do support. They do support. And I just even think about when I had COVID last year, who was laying by my side, whether if I was on the couch, he's just on the floor directly next to me laying. Linus. Completely. Let's see here. Cynthia wants to know where the baby squirrel is. Okay. I know. That sounds like more of a murder mystery than a question of the week, if you ask me. Let's see here. There is. Let's see. Linda says, it's been so many years since I've had a pet. We called her Princess. She was a Persian Angora mix. Wow, that's so beautiful. I'd like to know if she remembers me and how sorry I am that we parted company. Yeah, I get it. It's tough. It's tough. I was telling somebody the other day, and I think it's one of the greatest quotes I think that you could say, and people don't always see it the way I see it, but I always say Queen Elizabeth II had said, pain is the price you pay for love. And I think when it comes to pets in particular, that is very much the case, because they're with us for such short amount of time, and yet there's so many people, and I just showed it myself, that a pet could have passed away decades ago, and you're still like, why aren't they with me anymore? And that's really something. I think that's a real indicator of just basically what they mean to all of us, isn't it? So yeah, very, very important stuff here. Why don't we go ahead? Let's take our next break. When we come back, we're going to continue on with this. If there's anything you want to talk about, put them into the comments, because it's Casual Friday. We can say whatever we want, and let's ease into this weekend. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Looking to expand? Then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Twin Cities Pagan Pride is thrilled to host Pagonicon 2024, March 15th through the 17th at the Crown Plaza, Minneapolis West Hotel. Come to Pagonicon to experience deep community where people gather to learn, socialize, and get inspired. Check out all our featured guests and list of activities at tcpaganpride.org and register now for this incredible conference. Pagonicon is a pagan conference offering workshops, panels, discussions, social space, music, a ball, vendors, and much more. Pagonicon is an educational and social venue for pagans, Wiccans, heathens, druids, people of other folk, craft, indigenous, and magical traditions. Pagonicon has a vendor room and third offering art gallery, which are both open to the public all weekend. Pagonicon is a safe place, not only to be yourself, but to meet other like-minded individuals. Register now. Check out Pagonicon's full weekend, day only, and special event rates. Go to tcpaganpride.org and click on Pagonicon to register and get more details.
Hey AM 950 listeners, this is JP Derbogosian. I host This Queer Book Saved My Life and The Gaily Show, and I want to say on behalf of myself and my executive producer Jim Towns, we appreciate you a lot. You have given us such a warm welcome. Your calls and emails of support have meant the world to us. There are
And I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow, Megas Books is doing a special. It is over. If you go over to Megas Books, it is Gateway to the Gods, a monthly entheogen experience, beginning at noon. This monthly tea party offers a sample mug of entheogenic herbs such as blue lotus, lecture of its historical uses, and a guided meditation to help you connect with its effects. Visit megasbooks.com to register. Once again, they're doing a lot of cool stuff over there. So go check out their website because they have a lot of events coming up in March that I think you might want to check out. There's some really good things to learn. And, you know, one of the things that we don't really talk about a whole lot from Megas Books is the herbal side to it. And I do want to get Liz, who is the owner of Megas Books, on here to talk about that, because that's very important, actually, to be able to talk about the herb side to it all. So check out megasbooks.com, see everything they have to offer. And please don't forget to go in to the store itself, check out their wide range of books, tarot cards, everything else. And really just go over there and enjoy and learn. Now, Monday on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken, I'm going to bring in psychic medium Suzanne Worthley. Now, Suzanne is way more than a psychic medium. She is looking into all sorts of, she can see so far into so many things. And one of the things that we're going to talk about on Monday is kind of the energy of the earth at the moment, just the overall energy of what everyone is feeling and what everyone is going through, because it feels like things are very tense at the moment, just in general. The world stage is very tense. We have this big election coming up in November. We have wars going on in different parts of the world. Everything, it doesn't seem connected, but it's all very connected, and it's on people's minds. We're going to talk about, are we creating our own outcome by everyone thinking about this stuff? How can't you? There's a lot of stuff to talk about here. And so we're going to have Suzanne on, like I said, Monday. We're going to talk about that. And this is going to be a great conversation. I really would like you all to join in and ask questions, give your opinion, everything like that, because it is really something. Now, the question we had for the question of the week is, if you could ask your pet one question based on all the years you've known them, what would it be? If there's one thing you would want to make sure that they knew from their time with you, what would that be? And, I just going to say for Linus, for example, or any of my cats, any of the animals I've owned over the years, it's just like, did I take care of you all right? Did I help you? Did I make things better for you? And that's I think that's the one thing that we all want to know, right? We all want to be able to know whether or not we made a positive impact. And I think it's fair to say yes. I mean, I look and I see how he reacts and stuff, and he knows he's loved, but what if he could answer? Maybe that would be something completely different. I don't know. So that's that's one of the things that I find very interesting about all of that. And your guess is as good as mine. And so, what do you think someday we're going to be able to get some kind of like cat or pet translator where we can eventually really find out what they're saying about us? I mean, that's the thing. That would be pretty amazing if that were the case. I don't know. And I think that this week's question might have been a little too much for some people because, like I said, we didn't get nearly as many answers as we had received in past weeks for some of these questions. And maybe I blew everyone's mind with the question about what you'd ask your loved one. I don't know. So let's see here. I think Lisa wrote something and I didn't read her response. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Lisa had asked, she would ask, Pat, do you see my son that has passed? That kind of goes back to the whole thing about can animals see spirits? And I personally think that they can. And that she would say that I love you so much and you're my best friend and I appreciate your protection, even though you get a little intense. And, I think that's the whole other thing that we hadn't really talked about here. And that it is that the protection, the energetic protection that an animal gives. And, they say that a lot about cats, but I think it's any animal, because they can sense stuff so differently than we can, that there is that protection. So like when I was sick and Linus is around me all the time, that's not coincidence. He's trying to protect me, and I'm sure many of you have run into that over the course of your life, being sick or whatever else. So that is that is a real interesting point. And just the level of what can animals do on a spiritual level that we have no idea about. I think that that's something that's truly amazing. And I don't doubt for a second that there is. I don't doubt for a second there's plenty that they're doing that we don't know anything about, that we're not picking up on. For all we know, for all I know, Linus is able to communicate with AJ and Dave and stuff. And maybe that's just wishful thinking, because we also know when they're animals and there's two of them, then they've grown up together and stuff, that an animal will generally have these moments of depression when their counterpart's gone. If one passes and the other still lives and they were close, that you can definitely you can see that there's a depression, that they miss them, that there's so much. So yeah, I mean, so many things. Now Emily says they just came out with one for babies. It's only a matter of time, but does it work? Does it work for babies? Is that the case? Anyone see that episode of The Simpsons way back? I think it's like season 2, where Danny DeVito actually plays Homer's like long lost brother, and that one of the things he actually invents is a baby translator, so that us adults can understand babies, but it's all in the whatever it translates comes out in Danny DeVito's voice, which is really funny. I think it's funny. I am one of the few people who will openly admit that I still think The Simpsons is funny. Everyone else, I think it's passé to say that it's not funny, but I still say it's funny. I've been rewatching them on the Disney Plus, and I've been watching the new ones, and honestly, there's some really good episodes there. The one I think from season 7,000. Okay, no, it's like season 33, I think, because I think they're on season 34. They do a take on Stephen King's It, and the episode's called Not It, and it is very good. There's some very funny points to it, but there are some moments that are very they make you jump, and they're kind of creepy. And the clown, of course, is Krusty the Clown. So you have all of that, and it is just absolutely it's incredible. It is such a good episode. And then the end credits, of course, are fantastic too. Kyle asked the question, is that the one where Homer designs a car? It could be. I think there were two times that there's two times that he came back. It might be the same one, might be two different ones. I mean, that was 34 years ago. So I really don't remember, but I do remember that every time Homer's brother would put any sort of faith in Homer, that it would all kind of backfire. So, but that's right. He did design a car as well. That's funny. Let's see. Emily says about the baby translator. That's where I got it from. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm misreading it. I watched a video recently that talked about the Simpsons predictions, and that came true. So she didn't get one. She's just saying that's where then they reference it. I don't know. I'm skeptical on that. I'm skeptical on a baby translator. I think we have a better chance of picking up what a cat says. Actually, here's the thing about that is, you ever notice, like, cats make their noise, dog makes their noise. They don't though interact. They don't converse in barks and meows to each other, but they talk to us like we know we know what they're talking about. And my guess is 99% of us here will also act like we know what they're talking about as well. A lot of like answers to their meows, like, oh, I know. And that's the best part. Or, just filling in my mind when Linus meows at me, what he's saying, because he answers all my questions. He truly does. I mean, everything I say, there's a meow coming back at me, whether or not he's just like, well, God, he's opening his mouth, I better open my mouth again. Who knows what these animals are thinking. That's the best part. I hope someday, whatever that means, whether it's like once we pass or whatever else, where we hoping that a lot more stuff comes to light for us, that hopefully someday we will know what it all means, and what it means when an animal meows, barks, hisses, whatever, that we have some kind of idea of what it is. Lisa says, who doesn't think the Simpsons aren't funny? Well, here's the thing is that everyone's like, well, it's not as good as it used to be. You can't do the same thing for 34 years. You just can't. You have to try different things. I do think personally there was a lull in the program that was, between like maybe season 20 through like 23, maybe something like that, in my opinion. Some of the teen years might have been not as good. I do enjoy, obviously, quite a lot of like the Conan O'Brien episodes, which like seasons 4, 5, and whatever else. There's some really good ones. But what I like to do is I like to watch the old episodes, and I mean really old episodes, and then be like, yep, they're dead. Yep, that's dead. That person's dead. And some of the stuff that just doesn't, I'm macabre. Okay. This is news. And then and it's just kind of sad actually, because there is the one where, Penny Marshall was the babysitter in like a season 1 episode. And it's like, woo, gone, let's see. Emily says, Simpsons equals modern day Nostradamus, except better. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When you're on that long, right, that you're going to get something right. Some of that stuff that they show, like you get on the internet and you're like, Simpsons does it again or whatever, and they have these screen grabs. I don't know if those screen grabs have been doctored. I don't trust anything I see anymore. I really don't. It's like I get fooled every single time, and I start telling people about it, and then they're like, no, Greg. And they show me how I basically made a fool of myself because I believed it on first sight. So, just know, don't believe everything you, as Abraham Lincoln once said, do not believe everything you read on the internet. And I think that there's something very truthful about that as well. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about whether or not we're ever going to get an animal translator. If we do, that'd be great. But here's one last thing I'll leave you all with, and this is something I've been trying to do. If you have somebody I could bring on the show who is actually an animal psychic, I've heard many people say that. And then when I reach out to them, I'm like, can we do like a night of one question readings, but for people's pets? Then they suddenly, crawl back into the woodwork or whatever. It's like either they don't want to give it for free, which is fair, or they don't really possess that. And, and I'm not, I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, they really like belly rubs. I want something a little bit more substantial than that as well. Nor do I want, like what's Linus thinking, and guy would be like, he's saying meow. I don't want that either. So there's sorry, there's just a lot there that you want to be very careful on. That's all I know. This is funny. All right. So with that being said, as we wrap up the week here, don't forget Monday, we're going to have on Suzanne Worthley as we talk about the energy of the world during this time of politics and war. Where are we at energetically? We want to talk about that. We want to talk about that a little bit. Please make sure to visit us on ghostboxradio.com to find past episodes of our radio show, and like us over on Facebook at Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken. Also send any comments or feedback to comment@ghostboxradio.com. Don't forget to check out the Best of Ghostbox Radio, airing Saturdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. at AM 950. And finally, whether you're chasing spirits or just drinking them tonight, please be careful out there. We'll see you Monday as we talk to Suzanne Worthley about the current energy of the world. Everyone, have a great weekend.
It's Brad Friedman, host of the Bradcast, weeknights at 7 on AM 950, KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis.